Hey everybody, my name is Hannah Norris and I'm just going to show you my audience before I get started. So today we're going to be talking about the difference between buying from a breeder versus buying from an animal shelter. We're going to discuss why people choose to buy from a breeder instead of buying from a shelter. We're going to talk about why buying from a shelter is the better choice and how many dogs' lives are saved because of animal shelters. Many times people choose to buy from a breeder because they want a puppy, they want the sweet, innocent stage of a dog, but they forget the responsibility and the time that follows. They forget the attention that a puppy needs, the potty training, and they forget how difficult it can be to keep up with their health, to stay on top of when their next vaccination is, when their next vet appointment is, when their next checkup is. Sometimes that can get tough. There are millions of dogs dying in shelters because people are choosing to buy from a breeder to get the puppy stage when there are plenty of dogs in the shelters that are wanting a good home. According to the Animal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty of Animals, about 6.5 billion enter into American shelters each year. When deciding to adopt from a shelter, you're not only saving the dog that you're choosing to adopt, you're not only saving his life, but you're also opening a vacant area for another dog to be brought into the shelter. Therefore, you're saving more than one life. Lots of times when people decide to buy a puppy, they don't consider the work that follows. When purchasing a puppy from a breeder, you have to be consistent with training, especially with getting the dog to be housebroke. Sometimes that can be really tough, and it can be extremely stressful. It takes a ton of time when you can just rescue a dog from a shelter and they're usually already housebroke. This saves you lots of time and can be a relief. According to the Humane Society, adopting a pet emotionally and physically increases the health of its owner, especially when you're not having to clean up accidents in your house. Another benefit between the two is the pricing. It can be much cheaper to just adopt a pet from the shelter than to buy from a breeder, because usually when you buy from the shelter, they already have their vaccinations and they're already spayed or neutered. And if that's not the case, depending on the shelter, they're usually extremely willing to take the dog back in to do the surgery or to update their vaccinations. In 2018, this is according to a shelter in Greenville, in 2018, there were 52,757 vaccinations given and 15,385 neuter and spay surgeries. According to animalsheltering.org, the average amount of money spent on a dog a year is $1,386, and this money is from households that choose to adopt a puppy and they don't have the surgeries done, they don't have any of their vaccinations, so they're having to pay this out of pocket to get their dogs updated, their health updated, and keep them healthy. Today I have an illustration for us. This is an image of two puppies from a breeder and then a picture of a dog from a shelter. This shows how cute and healthy these puppies are, and it also shows that just as these are cute and healthy, so is the shelter dog. My neighbor is a perfect example of why you should adopt from a shelter, because she does not have the patience with the training that a puppy requires. And the beauty of having a shelter dog is, like I said earlier, they have their shots and they will be neutered or spayed, which saves you the trouble and time. And they're also not normally puppies, so they're usually out of that annoying chewing stage. The shelter makes adopting a puppy so much more convenient than buying from a breeder. And like I said, it's the best option, so you should buy from a shelter instead of a breeder. And before I pause, before I end the video, I'm just gonna show you my audience one more time. Thank you for your time.